On Red, what's happening?
I think we're going live pretty soon here. So,
Oh, we on. I just ain't taping that part yet. Kayla, what's happening? I see you on there.
and then
Marcelo, I see you. So you guys, I'm gonna be up on with the guys up front, so I won't be at the camera to see what y'all got going on here.
Show me what to do if something happens, because
Oh,
Cal's got to do
okay.
that.
Well, hey,
I'm the
everybody.
camera girl.
Hey, meet Susan right here. Susan, you want to tell them who you are?
Gallery. Hi.
You want to tell them what you do here at Encompass?
Hey, everybody. I'm Susan Paris. I'm a physical therapist by background, but I'm over the therapy department here. So I'm the director of therapy at Encompass, where we have PT, OTs, and speech therapies. But today I am the video camera operator. So give me a little QA on what to do, because if it does go black screen, what do I do to turn it back on?
Well, you won't.
Okay.
Shouldn't.
You're not gonna lose anybody?
Well, we shouldn't, but you'll see like everybody kind of who's jumping on,
Yeah,
the names
there's a
popping
lot
up.
of
So we
folks
got
coming
Kayla
on.
here.
Yeah.
We got Marcelo there. We got Red. And as they come on, it'll pop up.
Okay.
And you can kind of slide up if you want. Male, Latino, 22. So these are people that's jumping on.
Okay.
J Flow back 11.
But I don't have to touch it to keep it going.
No, you don't. So you'll see it come up, and then sometimes if they type a response or a question or something, it'll pop up here. Sometimes it'll say message, but to avoid like going out of the live, I'll probably the messages. Yeah. So if you see it, and just stop us. Like that way, you don't have to try to scroll back and forth through it, but you can move it up and down a little bit.
All right.
And just let it go, and it'll go
makes
back to, or just slide it up, and it'll go back to the bottom one. Brock Heath is on. You see him right there. So he just joined, and he tapping. So when they tap, you see stuff like that. So you don't have to do nothing with that either.
Okay.
Okay. But other than that, it's fine. So
I'm old.
I'll flip.
That's what that tells me.
I'll
My daughter told me that anyway.
Yeah. But I'll flip the camera.
That is
So
really fancy. Okay.
yeah, and I'm still learning. Caleb been trying to teach me how to use it myself.
That
But
is pretty cool.
my boy here.
If Mama calls, I'm
Mama,
answering it, because I know.
Mama, get off my phone. No disrespect, Mama, but I'm gonna call you back. But yeah, if you see somebody's name pop up as a phone call, you don't have to answer it. I'll call them all back.
All right.
And then I'm going.
Do not disturb?
You know what? I don't know.
Because that's what I do when I teach.
When you see it, just hit
my phone.
stop. Just hit the hang
Okay,
up.
just hang up on
Yeah. So if you hang up on my mom, I'm telling her.
No.
I'm telling her what it means. But everybody, we about to start our support group here. So I appreciate everybody jumping on, everybody that do get on. Y'all already know it's July 16th. We start at 5 o'clock. We're a little behind day, but it's all good. I wanted to introduce everybody, and then also doing the TikTok live. So we doing it more of like a interview type setup, podcast type setup, just to give you guys a closer interaction with everybody. So I will turn it around, I think. Oh shoot, see, I'm already messing up stuff. We flip this camera.
Come right here. Oh, no, you don't have a picture of a camera on there.
Well, you know, I know you can flip it. Brock, come on over here. Brock, be
Come on,
on
where's the
live.
young ones? All right, come on, young ones.
Yeah, speaker, come flip this camera to everybody. But we about to get started, y'all.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, just flip the camera back to this way.
There's a camera, but I don't see one on your phone.
not here, and then flip camera.
Oh, damn, I knew it.
Oh, hello. Do it again.
There we go.
Okay,
You see
yeah.
it here?
Cool.
One good.
That was easy.
Oh, yeah. So you want any particular side?
No, sir.
All right, I'll sit here. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our Amputee support group for July 16th. We got our speaker here, which I will introduce shortly, but I appreciate everybody that's joining online. I appreciate everybody that's here, and I appreciate everybody that's watching and that's been following. So it's something we're trying to do to keep everybody engaged, because we know sometimes getting back out the house and getting out in the evenings, it's a hard thing to do. So I've been trying to do it on live, and then I'll download it probably tonight and put it on my YouTube page, so it'll be up basically forever. So yeah, so we'll get started with my boy Brock. I'll kind of let him introduce himself as far as like what he got going on, but he's our speaker today. He's with OI. I'll try not to block him, but I'll let you have it, Brock. And you can introduce yourself to the world.
All right. Well, hi, I'm Brock. Hi, I'm Brock, everybody. I think I've introduced myself for the most part. May 2023, got an accident at work. Ended up getting crushed by 24 tons, destroyed both legs. Dealt with the hospital a little over a month and decided to try to save my leg. I dealt with that for a year, give or take. And I was paralyzed for about 8 months of that, in a wheelchair, in bed, just didn't want to do anything. It got to a point where I had a really good PT team, shout out Optimum, Blake Smith, but they were telling me, they're like, hey, if you really want to save this leg, you're gonna have to get up and get moving. So, this is weird. I'm not used to talking to people like this with a live stream. It's usually one-on-one.
Oh, you just talking to us.
You're just talking to us.
Yeah, you're just talking to us. They not there. They there, but they're not there.
Yeah. So, like, anyways, I was in the hospital, back and forth. I've had, 23 surgeries up to this point. Ended up, this whole leg is mine. It's got a lot of metal in it, but it's mine. I've now rehabbed everything, learned how to walk on them. Paralyzed limbs, and then crutching, braces, ortho boots, X-fixes. I've been through all of it. Don't recommend it at all. Would never recommend it to anyone. And it got to a point where it was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. We're able to move my legs, but the left one's not getting any better. It's still paralyzed. I have a fusion on my ankle. My knee's not being able to bend. So it was, let's figure out what options I had. And so my doctor was like, it's a shot in the dark, but you can go talk to this specialist up in New York and see if you qualify for something called OI. That's called osseointegration. That's when your prosthetic is bound inside your bone rather than you wearing a prosthetic. And if that didn't work, I couldn't wear a traditional socket because then I'll show you my leg. I'm not afraid of showing you everything, but shout out to why this is called adaptive. I'm using it here to keep my boot on.
And if you like, if you want to stand up and, right here in the middle, you're good. Whatever you want to do.
This is the prettier side. My whole entire leg, both legs are all scarred up like this. And then I'll get a little closer to the camera and let y'all look at it. But
Yeah, I can see that.
with OI especially, that's that little gold implant. That's deep inside my bone, probably right up under my knee. This is called osseointegration. It was either this or lose my leg about midline. And I mean, even you would understand that higher up socket would have been a harder deal than, at the knee. Yeah. And that's what they were telling me. They're like, hey, you're gonna have this, or you can go through the ringer one more time and try to do this. So I've had 2 surgeries, get the implant in, amputation, and then 1 knee surgery. And that's helped me get most of my motion back. But yeah, if y'all have any kind of questions about OI, let's shout it out. I would like to answer those questions. It's easier to answer questions than.
So you basically made the decision to do OI based on them saying that they would have to take most of your leg. Did you have time to, research it? Was it anything you had already heard somebody else do, saw online, or you just kind of researched it and then said, all right, I want to try it?
Yeah, I've never talked to anybody who had it. I didn't do a lot of research on it until it was offered to me. He was like, hey, look into osteo, get the implant or lose your whole leg. And I mean, this was May 2023. I've had this leg a little over a year. So, I mean, that's about a 2-year period of dealing with this leg and trying to save it. I mean, I'm fine to keep up my legs.
Yeah.
A little silly in my opinion, looking back at it now, but it's each in its own. Some people live with their limbs and they love it. Some people can't deal with it and they take it off and they love it better. And that's why I don't ever recommend anything to anyone. But it was just, I couldn't, if I didn't try to do this, because I mean, God forbid something did happen and the doctors or the PT and all these specialists looking at me and they're like, yeah, we don't think it's gonna work. Okay, well, we're back to square one. I knew I was gonna lose my leg, But it was take the risk here and see if I'm qualified to do it, or so let's just go ahead and do it. I've already been through the ringer, throw another one on there, it'd be fine. When it came to research, I had talked to a lot of Australians, believe it or not. Australia, it originally started in China. Australia had a lot of research done. They're about 15 years into the technology. America's been cleared to do it for about 8 years, give or take. And that's the doctor I wanted to see because I wanted to see the guy who's been doing it first. So I talked to him, got all these tests done, questions asked, are you gonna be able to keep up with it? Diabetes, infections. I haven't had infections since the day I got hurt. So it's just, I've had a couple things where I was like, all right, let's just take the risk. And then I reached out to Mark, shout out to Mark Rayleigh, if anyone wants to check him out. I called him and asked him, I was like, hey, I'm getting an amputation and I'm on board to get osteo. And I asked him a few questions and then I came to reform. That's whenever I came to y'all, because I was like, hey, I'm getting osteo, non-normal prosthetic. You guys have to be one, specialized in this, or go get a class. Are y'all willing to do that? Now, lucky for Henry, Brian, and Will, and the whole team, they were all like, well, we can handle it. We've had a patient like that before, but that wasn't from day one of the amputation to walking on a prosthetic a couple months later.
Yeah.
So went with them. What was it, like 2 weeks after I visited y'all?
Yeah.
I wasn't technically a patient at this clinic at all. But
Yeah.
2 weeks later, Ryan and Will called me back and they're like, hey, we're certified now. Ryan went up to New York and got certified because I asked him a question about it.
Yeah.
You know, Henry's texted me before the osteo or before amputation was even in my mind. Henry and I were talking because I saw him on TikTok and Facebook, and I was like, hey man, you got any like words of wisdom? What am I looking at here? And he was like, it's not all that bad. You really want my opinion? It's not all that bad. And I was like, okay, that makes me feel more comfortable. Then I met him in person. I was like, okay, he's chill. He's not just saying this to say this, but this guy like literally gets around and does whatever he wants to,
Yeah.
regardless of disability. And then that kind of gave me my, all right, let's get this done. So January of 2025, got the amputation and the implant all in one surgery. Came back home. 6 weeks later, I rushed it. I got on my on my implant and got this built and put on about 6 weeks after surgery. And was on crutches for maybe a month or two. I really took it easy, looked and phase, all this. After that, back to normal is the best way I can put it. I mean, it's not really, I'm never gonna be normal. Normal is overrated, everyone watching. If you got all 4 limbs, good for you.
Yeah.
They don't.
But you're not cool like us.
Well, that's cool. At least you had time to kind of research it. You had time to, make a personal decision. Wasn't like anything was pressured, that, oh, you had to do it. And then you had already looked at the alternative that they was gonna come up here anyway. So it was like, okay, well, let's try it. So now if anybody got questions that's here, feel free to ask. If not, I got a whole list from last month and some that people have asked me to ask to make sure. And I think a lot of people are thinking probably the same thing I'm thinking. So my first thing I'm thinking. So my first question.
I'm mom's boyfriend.
That's what I said, his mom's boyfriend.
So as an amputee, a lot of people deal with phantom pain or phantom sensations. Now, with you having OI, do you experience phantom sensations or phantom pain?
For the first little bit, god awful horrible. I'm like the amputation wasn't worth it. I had lightning pain before my amputation because of the paralysis and all the damage, and I wouldn't even show y'all pictures of what my leg looked like for that whole period. I mean, you see this, and it's like, wow, that's a lot scarred and stuff. I'm like, this is pretty compared to what it was, and even up here, it's prettier than that. But yeah, when it came down to like nerve pain and lightning pain, there's 2 different. I don't know if any of us. I mean, I say there's lightning pain and then there's nerve pain. The nerve pain is more phantom. The lightning is just like you're walking down the road and out of nowhere, it's like someone put a taser to the back of your knee, and you're like, whoa. I have that occasionally. To this day, it happens. The phantom pain and the phantom sensation of having my foot really bad until I got my prosthetic. Once I started actively using it, and walking, and really training, and going to PT for it, I figured out that when I wear my leg, I can partially feel it. Due to being paralyzed, I guess I just learned the vibrations of my foot or whatever. So, and I can close my eyes and poke on my foot, and I'm like, you're on the right side of my foot, you're on my toe, you're on my big toe, my heel. It's really weird. But when I wear my prosthetic, the phantom goes away. Sometimes I sleep with it, because if I take it off and I start feeling it, I'm like, this junk sucks. Let's put this back on and, go poke my foot, or I'll kick it like this and it'll go away. And I'm like, okay, cool. That was a big problem at first, but a lot of us in the OI community have known after about the first 4 months, when you wear it, it really goes away. When you're wearing it, it's gone. When you take it off, it's any other day.
Okay. All right. Questions, anybody? If not, I'll keep going.
There's no bad.
I'm just giving y'all a chance. So anytime, just stop me. So, because like I said, we got time today. But anytime if something come up, just stop me. All right. So we just addressed like phantom pain, phantom sensation. So if I just had surgery and I'm laying up in the bed and I feel like I'm going through the most pain after surgery, I can only imagine what you might have felt like after surgery. Because it's not like they just took it and twisted a little metal in there and put a little cap on there. I've seen a video where it's literally looked like it's being.
It's the video of my leg, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, that is
That
you.
was me.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to find it and tell y'all where to go to look at that because he got an actual video
It's from my doctor.
of the doctors. Like
Surgery.
I'm talking about, look like one of the cartoon hammers and just. So as far as like pain after the surgery, was it when you came through? Was it like horrible? Was it real intense, or could you even tell?
Okay, this is weird, and I wish I could relate more to others. With me, 4 hours later, I got on my crutches and took a shower for the first time since my accident. Like
Okay.
an unassisted, get up and stand up and take a shower.
Okay.
My doctor was, excuse my language, pissed. He was so mad at me. He walked in there. He goes, "Why is your hair wet? You sweating?" I was like, "No, I'm good." He goes, "Have you had medication?" I was like, "No, I'm good." He goes, "You take a shower?" I was like, "Indeed I did." He goes, "How'd you take a shower?" I was like, "I was on my crutches." He was so mad at me. Because, I mean, if I slipped and fell and hit a brand new implant that was just planted in my bone and broke it, then, you know, okay, there goes that surgery a couple hours after it was done.
Mm-hmm.
So second day, man, it was awesome. I was like, you got rid of all my problems. That paralyzed limb and its nerve pain trumps this amputation.
Mm-hmm.
The following week, when I finally got back home and started doing the loading phase, which I know you're familiar because you used to call and ask me how I did. Every day I'd have to add 5 pounds and go 15 to 20 minutes of just like adding it on a scale. And I'd have like this weird bucket contraption thing because I didn't have a walker that adjusted in height. It'd be a little weight on the ground, and then I'd just squat on top of it, and it would just load this, and I'd add 5 to 10 pounds every day until I got, 20 pounds past my weight, and then it was like, all right, now you can get a prosthetic. For some people, it varies. That's not medical advice. That's just what I did.
Mm-hmm.
But at that whole loading phase, that was brutal. It was like, it felt like, have anyone broken a bone or a toe or a finger? You know how that one's something like, I'm laid out in pain, but it's just, it was the worst. It sucks. That's how it was, but it was like in here somewhere. I couldn't tell you where it was, but I was like, what is going on?
Okay. All right. So now you talked about like with the crutches and if you would have failed. So, being an amputee, I've fallen maybe I think twice to where, and this wasn't in the beginning. This was like later in my journey, just being as you do everything and you repeat things, you get more comfortable doing things. Mm-hmm. So I've fallen maybe twice in the bathroom, like shower time type situation, just because I just wasn't paying attention to what I was doing and didn't have my sleeve up and leg came out of my socket. Have you ever taken a fall without your foot on to where that metal actually hits the ground? And if you have, I can only imagine that does hurt because it's in your bone.
Mm-hmm.
So have you?
I've done it once to that magnitude. I fall all the time. When I take my leg off at night, I forget I don't have my leg, and I'll get up and go like take a pee or something,
Goodness.
and I'll just go take a step, and it's like a cartoon. I'll freeze for a second, and fall out. That's no big deal at this point. It happens, whatever, and I can catch myself. But this was about, and I remember calling Ryan, and then I called my doctor, and they got a telemed, emergency telemed, because I was worried that I'd broken something.
Wow.
It's probably like week 4 in the loading phase, and my crutches I guess put it on a rug, or it might have been Eli's toy or something. Eli's my son, he's 2, so at this time he was like 4 to 6 months during this whole transition. So he had little toys laying around, and my crutch hit it and it slipped. And when it slipped, I went straight down.
Oh wow.
My implant slammed the floor, and this is at the part of my house. I have a mud room where I redid the floor to be a partial laminate. It punched a hole in the laminate. Wow. So when I say that junk hurt my knee, it didn't hurt the bone, and no damage was really superficially done. But my knee was swollen, and it was just horrible. But that's the only time I've really fallen on the implant. And if y'all are y'all curious on how the implant works, like fail safes, like if something does happen or my leg gets caught, and, has to break.
Yes.
So, and it's so weird, but this adapter that hooks up on there is only connected by this screw. That's the only thing holding my leg on. This is designed so the bone breaks, and this is with each and all. They have to do a scan and they figure out the math or whatever on how thick my bone is and the density and how it grows. But generally, let's say your bones break at 1200 PSI, this is gonna break at 800 PSI. So if my foot gets caught on something, I'm riding my bike or I fall or I'm squatting too much and the carbon blade, you know, this is stronger than this will break, but my implant nothing won't happen to it. If something goes past that at 1000 PSI, this silver piece right here connecting into my bone, that will break. The actual implant inside my bone won't go nowhere. And they're like, if your bone won't break, that thing's not going nowhere. So you have up to 2 to 3 fail states before the prosthetic being bound inside my bone could really damage me. But you know, it's not like I'm gonna get back on being a wrestler like I used to be. I can't get on a mat with a titanium rod hanging out my leg. That's not gonna happen again. But for the most part, I have some contingencies.
Okay.
So like falling on it, I wasn't too worried about it, because if it did do that much damage, this whole silver pin would have just slid out.
Okay. So now, the longer that you have it and use it, even if you were to not have your foot on, if you were to kind of like fall on the ground with it, it wouldn't really affect you like it would in the beginning?
Oh, no, it wouldn't be in that much pain.
Okay.
My knee still probably would be affected, because I mean, that's the weakest point of contact. If I was to fall directly on this, my knee is gonna catch all that impact.
Okay. Now I know another question I was asked before is just like as far as like the skin that's around the actual implant. Does the skin get to a point where, and I don't know the exact word, but does the skin get to the point where it gets tougher or grows like sort of like a callus type skin type around it, or is it always open? Like how do you
Varies.
keep it from getting, I guess, infected or?
It varies.
Okay.
So I've learned, there's one of my people I work with, her name's Sarah. She's had it for 17 years. Mark's had it for 5 years, and I've had it for 1.
Mm-hmm.
We're the only 3 people who actively train, run, swim like we do, as far as we know of. I hope there's more, and I think there are. We just don't know because no one posts about it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to us, Mark, his is like a partial open wound. If he overdoes it, if his knee swells, or if he's just like, he gets done running a marathon. Don't ask me why this dude runs a marathon. It freaks me out. I'll run a 5K and then I'm done. I won't do it again because it freaks me out. He don't care. His will leak, because technically it's never fully healed around that metal piece. It's like a fancy piercing, if that makes any sense. The piercing and the skin heals up. It closes the muscle and the bone up, but it doesn't close from where that metal goes into you. So it's a perpetual, your piercing's always healing kind of ordeal. For me, I don't leak. My scar tissue around the bottom of it is still semi-soft, but it's never really open. I can go swimming in open water and don't have to worry about putting like Vaseline or a sleeve over it. With Sarah, she goes swimming in the open ocean all the time, and hers is like, you can't tell if she was an amputee. Her leg is absolutely perfect down to the metal pieces, just like that was photoshopped. She legit looks photoshopped. So each of them is home. Some people leak, some people don't, some people callous, some people scar, some people don't leak. You know, it's a very consensus group, and the average isn't really compared to other people.
Okay.
It's just what is yours, you know.
Okay. Now, do you have to take like any like antibiotics like all the time, or nothing like that?
I think I've taken 1 antibiotic since 2024.
Okay.
Yep, and that was for the amputation itself.
Yeah. I'll check with anybody. Anybody got any questions out here? No, you good?
They can be rude, they can be dumb. I promise they're not. I've heard it all, and I'm sure y'all get questions in the wild, is what I say.
So those I can't see on the other side of the screen, but if you just join in, or you got questions?
No questions.
Oh, no questions yet? Oh, okay. Yeah, if you guys got questions, my guy Evan got his phone out. He's watching it on live also, so he'll chime in on any of the questions that you guys got. But I'm asking now from questions that people asked me prior, and just some of the questions on my own. So we talked about him falling. We talked about phantom limb pain. We talked about just the adjustment of having the OI surgery. You did mention earlier that you have a child or kids. Tell us a little bit about the family. Were they all in agreement with this, or was this like a personal, hey, I got to do this because this is what I think I need to do, and it was kind of like everybody kind of just jumped on board?
I think it was, I'd say more personal, but between me and the missus, we both were kind of on board with like, it's bound to happen. What's going to be the most useful? What's got, you know, the most practical movement, longevity, your activity, like how am I going to balance that? You know, so I was like, amputation's happening. How are we going to juggle this? I had a 4-month out of the house. I had to go to New York to get my surgery. I was gone for 2 weeks, had to come back. Had a 4-month. You know, he went from itty bitty baby to a bigger 4-month, and I was like, okay, this is insane. I was on crutches for 2 months after that. So from his 4-month to 6-month period, you know, I'm sitting there booty scooting or on crutches. And I was just kind of crawling around. I was so freaked out with those crutches because I was like, what if he's, you know, trying to move around me and I get my crutch and accidentally crush his little hand? You know, what do I got to do then? Now, external family, they were not on board at first. They were like, no, you worked all this way to save your leg. And I'm like, well, I can't even move my toes, you know? If I can't move my toes, I want something else that works, you know? You know, and so I'd say it's personal. And I had a couple other people outside that, you know, give me some good tips, reminders that, you know, losing a leg is probably the least worrisome thing you have to worry about if you've been through all this.
Yeah. And I know a lot of times, I know a lot of times kids, they adapt to things anyway, so I don't think it was a big, probably major
I don't think
change.
Eli knows I'm missing a leg. I think I'm just normal to him,
Okay.
which is awesome. Now,
Okay.
some of my peewees that I coach with outside, they'll be like, what's up with your leg? And I'm like, I'm part robot. And they're like, whatever. And I'll like pull up my pants.
Yeah.
I wear sweatpants. And I'll pull up my pants and they're just like, so I get a good laugh out of it here and there.
Okay. And we already know there's some pros and cons with it. If you can remember any kind of just off the top of your head, what would you say has been like, you know, this seems to be a life-changing moment? And then I know you talked about the pain sometimes being like, oh my God, why haven't I done this? So have you, so far, because you're only a year in, have you experienced anything that's like been basically like good and bad, up and downs with it? Or are you still just kind of going through all the motions right now?
So please note, each one of us, as we relate being an amputee, is very different for all of us. I understand that, so I'm saying this with a grain of salt. I'm not just being like oblivious to everyone else's situation. But I have 2 really like life changers. It's all the ones we all agree with. It's like, okay, we can't just get up and go walk outside and take a whiz, you know. But we have steps. We have to put on our leg. We have to do this. We have to make sure we're clean. Take showers this way. Well, can we take a shower this way, or we need a chair? You know, if you're in a wheelchair, okay, you can't go up these steps. You can't even go up that ramp because they built it wrong. It's too steep. You know, I've been there. I've been in a wheelchair for more than a year. I understand. But it gets to the biggest life changer that I've had is mentally. It's an everyday battle. I don't care what anyone says, and I say this in a grain of salt again because everyone's each in their own. I try to tell people that. I tell my kids that. I tell people that I work with the prosthetic covers, is your problems are your problems. My problems are ours. Do we relate? Sure. Do we not relate? Absolutely. You know, I'm missing 1 leg. He's missing 2. You know, I'm below the knee. He's above the knee. You know, it's totally parallel, but we're here together because we're amputees. You know, does that make sense? So losing the leg was a big changer, obviously. I think the biggest thing for me was when I got the OI, knowing it was the best choice for me, I didn't think about the consequence of, and this is why I don't sell OI to people. There's some people who are like, oh, so it's better than a socket because you can just wear it in the shower and go swimming. Don't wear a socket and go swimming. Don't listen to that crap. But I can't torque my leg. God forbid my leg gets stuck on something and completely twist. You know, the fail-safe, of course, it'll break this, but my leg's still gonna get damaged.
Think about that.
I can't wrestle. You know, I was a collegiate coach for wrestling. I absolutely love the sport. I still coach my peewees. You know, my peewees are over the Christian school that high school. All them, I help coach with that, but I can't actively get on the mat because the number one thing in wrestling is impetigo and staph. And we all know how that is. That's a nasty infection. If I get it, for me especially, my bone's gone. You know, so we're back to square one. Can't afford that. If I do somehow get past the germs and stuff, and I go to take down somebody, or they grab my leg the wrong way and I'm swatting my little nub around. My nub still has a titanium rod coming out of it. You know, I'm gonna cut them open or break their teeth, or so I had to give a best for it. That sucked. And I know, like I said, that's a grain of salt, and I said that's a life changer. It's not just wrestling. There's a lot of other things that I probably couldn't name off the top of my head until it's the moment of, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that. My bad. You know, but a lot of activities like that you know, you'll just see people get up and go do. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that because I'm back to normal now. And then it's like, okay, Brock, wait a minute. That's not how that works. You're not back to normal. You're just back to your normal. You know, so that's probably been the biggest change. You know, pro and con, I guess, if you really outweigh what I'm trying to say. But
Yeah.
that's the best way I can put it.
Okay.
You know, if that makes any sense.
Speaking of those activities, kind of running it back a little bit, how is it swimming for you? Do you swim in pools? Do you even attempt to try pools, ocean? What?
Anything salty or chlorine I can swim in.
Okay.
It took me a year to get there though. Once you first get this, you can't touch any kind of water or submerge. You can't submerge. You can take a shower normally. You can't submerge at all. And I know y'all can hear my voice and probably tell with me walking in with the pants and boots in this degree weather. I'm a little country. I'm an idiot. If I see a snake or an alligator, I used to jump in the pond and go get them. Can't do that anymore. That's been a kind of a big thing. Not super big deal, but if like family wants to go to a lake, or my buddy, I don't have a boat or anything, I don't go to the lake. I haven't before, but if someone invites me, hey, we're going to the lake. All right, y'all go have fun. You know, I can get on the boat, but I can't go skiing. Or I can stay at the house and watch the kids. Y'all go, you know, have fun. All right, people like around here go to the river.
Yep.
Do I care for the river? No, but if I get invited, I still can't go out there. You know, there's too many germs in that fresh water.
Okay.
But yeah, the saltwater chlorine, yeah, I definitely get in. I've gotten to do that a couple times, and I'm swimming now. I'm no good at swimming. Let me tell you, that's been a change.
I can't swim that all, so
Bro.
yeah, we good.
Yeah,
No judgment,
it's
yeah.
totally weird. I'm like
Yeah,
kicking
no
my
judgment.
legs. I look like a little flipper, and I'm like not going anywhere at all. I'm like, this sucks.
All right. Well, anybody else got anything else? All right, I got a couple more questions. You know, how is it as far as, okay, you got the surgery, you're a year in, it was in New York, correct? How is it as far as like follow-ups? Do you have to go back up to those doctors at any time? Do they FaceTime you? Do they call you? How does that work as far as like following up with them?
A lot of telemed. Now the surgery, obviously go up there. They want to keep you for 2 weeks. I pushed to get out, you know, maybe 9 days, and I was like, get me the heck out of here. I'm ready to go home and see my baby. So that's pair one. You have to go back at the 6-month mark or somewhere around there. They want to come to see you in person. You know, you do all these walking around steps, X-rays, bone density tests. They do the whole 9 yards again, like they did right before your actual surgery. After that, you don't have to ever see them again if you don't want to.
Okay.
A lot of it is you have to learn. You know, what are you looking for? You know, are you taking care of your aperture or stone or whatever you want to call it? Is your bone feeling okay? I go every 6 months to Dr. Baldwin over here at Memorial, and I'll get an X-ray. You know, because a lot of people don't know this. Osseointegration is the same exact technology as your teeth implants, your knee replacements, your shoulder replacements. I don't know if you ever seen, they call it a total knee replacement. That's when they drill all this stuff out and then they put a new metal piece on it. It's the same exact technology. Hip replacements, same technology. You can get up and walk the same day after they put a new one in. It's the same thing. It's just this is exposed. That's the only weird, the part they're weird about.
Okay.
So it's like any ortho doctor can give you an X-ray. I recommend do it every 6 months. You know, make sure you're on top of it. Don't lose bone density. Make sure you're taking care of it. But as far as seeing my doctor, you know, he'll call me on the phone. Be like, hey, how's it going? How do you rate this 1 through 10? He'll ask me like 5 questions, and he'll be like, all right, see you next time.
Okay.
So,
All right, and then last question I'll ask before we introduce talent here, and he said no question was off limits. So if this is TMI, it's TMI. If you want to plead the fifth, plead the fifth.
Okay.
So we've talked about everything as far as like him getting back to a normal life. He does go to the gym. He works out, things like that. But also with the metal being out there, you can't really, you know. How is it as far as you're married, you're in a relationship? How is it as far as I won't even say romance department. Some people like to cuddle. We'll put it like that. You like to cuddle. So is there anything that you put on that covers it, Like, do you get like a little softy, like blanket, and you wrap it so you're not like, if you're cutting it,
That's
you're
a
not
really good
cutting.
question.
You're not cutting anybody's leg.
I've never been asked this formally.
No?
My twin brother he's like, he's my twin, we have no barriers. He'll be like, hey Brock, I have a question, I'm like, what's up? He'll be like, what if you kick and sleep? And I'm like, okay, I know what you're actually getting at,
Yes.
Bryson. But if I was to kick in my sleep, will I hurt Alexis? Of course. So, along with the prosthetic cover stuff,
Yeah.
I'm not selling these or anything, but I took a pool noodle, and make fun of me if you want to. I took an old bonnet from like Dollar General and cut it up. I put it on the inside of the pool noodle and the outside. You slip it on right there, and then just put a sock over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
An OT. We're gonna make you an OT.
Yeah. So that answers all the other questions that y'all wanted to know.
How
basically.
vulgar can I be? Because I'll tell you what I want to call it if I do sell this.
Well, I don't know. Tell me the ear first.
So they might steal your idea. Don't say
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Cause that's not, yeah, we wrong.
I call it a leg condom.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
I don't want this thing to hit.
Well, maybe they won't steal your idea.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be a different trademark.
Some people call it a sleeve, and I'm like, it's not the same thing.
Well, man, we appreciate Brock and his journey with OI. We appreciate him coming out today. So thank you, sir, for being part of this program today. And now we're gonna have this young man here that I'll let introduce himself. You guys can see him. You've seen him the whole time in the camera. And I'll let him tell a little bit of his story and what he has going on, so you guys will know how to get in touch with him and everything like that.
All right, my name is Talent Holloway. I'm a bilateral AK. I had arthrogryposis when I was born, so it's like a joint condition. So mine affected me in my knees and my ankles. So I had no movement in either. So for 14 years of my life, I was walking with crutches and I had braces, and it wasn't a great system. By the time I was 14, my shoulders started to hurt, my elbows started to hurt because, they're not made for walking. And I was doing that every day. I was trying to live a normal childhood. I was trying to do all the, hang out with the other kids and do all the things that they were doing. So by the time I was 14, all that kind of started hurting. And so I went up to the Shriners up in Greenville, and they did me a gait study, and a year later, this was in 7th grade, and a year later, or around 6 months to a year later, they came back and said, hey, we'd love to do an amputation, but we're only going to take the left leg, and we're going to leave the right leg, and the right leg's going to be in a KFO, a KFO, and you're still going to walk with crutches, you're just going to have one leg amputated. So I was like, and they said if you could function with that and walk with that, then we'd come back a year or two later and amputate that leg before you're aged out from the Shriners. And I was like, I don't really want to do that just to go back to how it was, so you might as well just take them both. So they said, okay, give us a second. So they came back a year later, and that was when I was in 8th grade. They said, yeah, you'd be a great candidate for that. I was like one of their first patients doing a bilateral through the knee amputation, I think. So it was kind of new to them, but I had a great doctor, a great everything. So we did that summer of the 8th grade year. So freshman year, I took off. I did online school to rehab. And I spent 6 weeks recovering, no infections, everything went smoothly.
Okay.
And then I spent 3 to 4 months in stubbies, which are, y'all know what stubbies are, but they're like these short little things that, it's like a plate that just comes down to your knee. Well, it's like replaces your knee. So you get your balance, your center of mass and everything. You're closer to the ground, so if you fall, you won't hurt anything really. So I spent 4 months on those, and then went to Hanger and saw Jeremy. They got me into these sea legs, and I've had these for 2.5 years.
Oh man.
So I'm pretty new to this. I'm 17.
17?
He said 2 years, y'all. Y'all didn't see him when he walked in. He walked in, no crutches, no nothing.
I didn't know you
to
had.
be on 2 sea legs.
I didn't know you had
Walked in here
prosthetics
real
when I first
nice.
saw you.
Really?
We walked in at the same time in the parking lot.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know he had prosthetic legs until we got to the door. I
Yeah.
was like, you walk better than I do.
I didn't notice that either. You were in pants, and I was like, okay,
And if anybody been to Encompass, y'all know the support group is not at the front first door, so it's a long hallway to walk down. But he walked all the way down the hallway, walked in the room. So he's doing real good for 2 years. Now, and as far as you said, you're 17 now.
I'm 17. Yes,
Okay, so school and everything here. Or?
I'm a senior in high school.
Oh, congratulations!
So I'm going to my last year, so I'm kind of nervous but excited about that, and then going to go to college. So hopefully go to college.
One question, someone asked, do you prefer the stubbies over your long sea legs?
No, I don't. I like to live. I live my life as I would with 2 legs. I mean, with stubbies, it's good for people starting off, but as soon as you get your sea legs, I recommend just hopping straight into them and never going back to your stubbies. But a lot of people I know, Limb Loss Boss, he's on TikTok.
Yeah.
He goes back to his stubbies. He works and all that stuff in his stubbies. That's great for him.
Yet?
We actually talked before the amputation and
Okay.
everything. He was,
Oh, wow.
he was
I've reached out to him
encouraged.
before.
Yeah,
He's a cool guy.
he's a really cool guy.
That's great.
So he does all that stuff, but he's also older. So I
Mhm.
mean, at the end of the day, if he wants to spend time with his kids, he goes down to short and at their level. But most of the time, he's on his legs, and I'm always on my sea legs. I don't have stubbies that fit. They're probably under my bed somewhere. I haven't had them on since the first couple of months of the amputation. So I mean, I'm living my life as normal as possible. I have a job. I go to the gym. I was at Athens this past week. We went traveling. I try to live my life as normal as possible. So
I'll kind of piggyback on the stubbies part since somebody asked, and I know and just like what brought with OI, it was nothing immediate. It was no amputation, and it was just like, just because I'm doing OI, I can immediately walk and stuff like that. It's still a process to go through. So with the stubbies, as far as like you having sea legs now, I know you wouldn't go back to the stubbies, but kind of, I guess for those that's wondering, when you have the stubbies, what type of activities do they mainly have you doing to I guess, because the goal is to get you stronger to potentially get in, sea legs. So was it certain type of activities they had you doing as far as like therapy?
So I didn't actually go to therapy.
Okay.
I never went to any PT. We went to one session with this one person, but we didn't really feel like I think she's never probably worked with an amputee. We didn't even know about Encompass really. So I never went to PT or anything. So it was really kind of my parents that kind of pushed me. And I also wanted to walk since I always had crutches. I never had both hands free. And so stubbies were the first time I had both hands free. So I wanted to go everywhere. My main thing was we went to just Walmart or Target.
Mm-hmm.
We walked around. We did the shop. I did all the shopping with my parents and everything. We walked down the road. I wasn't scared to fall because you're right there next to the ground, so you're not really gonna scrape up anything or break anything. And then at Walmart, if you fall, you're gonna get a couple looks, then just hop right back up and keep on going. It's just they'll forget that you fell in a couple of seconds.
If you get the looks, you may just fall and they just keep right on going. But who knows?
Now, you went to Baca too, though, didn't you?
I did, yes. That was also really fun. I think that was the first year. That was I think I had the legs for about 2 or 3 months when I went to Baca, which is bilateral.
Amputee.
It's like boot camp.
Boot camp. Baca boot camp.
Okay.
Bilateral
Boot camp.
above knee amputee boot camp.
So yeah, I
How
went.
active are you?
I'm sorry.
How active are you?
Very, very active.
Do you have blades and stuff you run?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I
I'm
do.
jealous.
I mean, right now I'm waiting on some sockets right now, so
Okay.
because they're not aligned. But I did have the blades. I ran not fast at all. But
Not yet.
Not yet. When I get those
Any
new sockets,
plans on taking it to competition?
nah, I mean, I'm not fast enough to do any of that stuff. We have a track team, so I mean, if we can get the sockets in and I can start practicing, I might join the track team.
Heck yeah.
I wanted to do an Ironman.
I'm literally training for one right now.
You are?
Mhm.
Really?
And in September, I get to go to a Paralympic camp for cycling. So,
Wow.
yeah, that kind of happened in the last 3 months. Yeah, so
Yeah, that's really fun. I was just started thinking about doing an Ironman. I saw this one guy on
they do sprints here in Savannah.
Instagram. Yeah, really?
Mhm. They do half marathon or Ironmans here in Savannah.
I didn't do that. I
Yeah,
want
look
to do
up L
something.
Scottsdale Park. It's every May.
Every May?
It's a short Ironman. It's not it's not a half Ironman, 70.3. Full Ironman is 141.
Yeah.
But the one they do at El Scottsdale Park is called a sprint.
Okay.
And you swim in the little water there. It was low this year because the water level was
That's
low.
right.
But if you don't want to swim or you can't swim, you can run twice. So you can
Okay.
run, then bike, then run again,
Yeah.
or you swim, bike, run, which is the triathlon.
Okay. Yeah.
You should do it.
I mean, I would love to.
You
I just
need to do it. Yeah,
I need a
there's
bike.
people out there.
I've never biked before in my life, so I don't know how that's gonna go. But I swim and all that stuff. But yeah, I was thinking about doing that. But
Next May,
That'd be awesome.
put it on your calendar.
I will.
El Scottsdale, yeah, it's called Ride on Ryan.
Ride on ride.
Because Ryan has passed away, but his sister, I'm very good friends with her. She
Okay.
does it as a charity, and all the money she gives to the YMCA programs.
That's
But it's
awesome.
called Ride on Ryan,
Ride on
Okay.
ride.
and he was a
That's right.
triathlete trainer.
I'll put that on my calendar for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
all right.
right with you.
You should do it.
We might.
You
We
should do
should.
You lose them running
Team
away.
up. Team up, team up. Well, man, we appreciate you, Talent, for the Talent was doing the Amputee Spotlight, so thank you, sir, for
Yeah,
that.
very
It sounds like with all the stuff he's doing, he's gonna be back as a speaker one day. We just said, oh, and we got some more questions?
Yeah, we got 2 questions.
Okay.
Someone
I went to the school when I was in 6th grade to 8th grade, so I had my legs and I was walking on crutches. And I go to a very small school. We have 14 people graduating from our class, so
Okay.
we're very close. I'm very close with all of them, so they didn't know, but like they were kind of normalized to like the crutches and the braces and all that stuff. Like I was different, I guess.
Mhm.
I mean, they never made me feel like that, but so when I came back, I was more nervous about coming back. I was really nervous about coming back, but they didn't even say really anything about it. They kind of just welcomed me back, and I was grateful for that. So, I mean, I wasn't gonna get offended if they asked me questions. I mean, I'm like this, man. I'm chill about it. Yeah.
next one, again, how did limb loss affect your mental and confidence?
Well, for me, I gained confidence from it because I had crutches. I was like 5 feet tall. My legs were bent. Like my legs were like that basically. Had braces, had crutches, all that stuff. So, I mean, having this now, I'm 5'11". I'm walking normally, I guess. I mean, I have a pretty good gait, I guess. So, I mean.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
So it's really boosted my confidence and boosted my mental health. I mean, I wasn't in a bad place before this. I was, living life, and I'm still living life. So nothing's really changed in that aspect.
Anybody else?
That's it so far.
Okay. Well, again, hey, we appreciate everybody checking in for the support group. We thank Talent for the Amputee Spotlight. We thank Brock for our presentation on OI. I thank all you guys for you got something?
It's a group question. It's for everybody. I
Oh,
want
okay,
to see
come
if
on.
everybody has an answer.
Come on.
What's the weirdest question you've been asked? Like from anybody, kids exception. I don't want to hear some little kid walk up to you and be like, "Where's your leg? Are you a fairy?" What's going on with that? But like, where's the weirdest question someone's asked you? Because I get a whole bunch now.
Well, you kick it off then.
I was like,
Are your legs gonna grow back?
Oh, y'all ain't gonna grow back. Now, do you say yes? I don't, it looked like he said yes. I think you tell him yes.
It depends on what kind of answer I give them. If you're a bad kid.
Yeah. If you're a bad kid, the answer's no.
My favorite thing is when kids look at me in like gas stations. One time this happened, 2 little brothers, they were in line in front of me, they turned around, looked at me, and they whispered to each other, and they finally turned around and were like, "What happened to your leg?" I'm like, "Well, my mama told me to shut up, and I didn't." So, they turned around real quick.
Oh my
So
goodness.
funny.
Yeah, that's probably the best kid ever. If you was ever meet that kid today, probably if he was bad, that's probably like the best kid ever.
The dad was there, he's like, and they paid.
they probably still bring it up to this day.
Yep.
You better what he said.
Hey, you got a weird question? Cause I'm.
Well, I think it was this is a kid from school, it was a joke, but he asked me if I had a metal butt and like a metal, you know.
Oh, like Cyborg.
Yeah.
I've been like the Teen Titans. I've been called. I don't know the name on there, but a little kid told me I was one of the Teen Titans, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Transformer. I've also been called Transformer.
Oh man.
That's about it. Robot.
Has anyone called any of y'all Tink Tink yet?
Oh yeah.
I get it all the time, man.
Yeah,
Shout
nah,
out.
I get that all the
Shout
time.
out to Cat Williams. You know what I'm saying? shout out to Cat Williams for giving everybody Tink Tink. Yeah. But I will do just since we did go around with the weirdest, I want you guys to just end with like anything you would tell anybody that's watching or here in the room that just may be struggling with just something hard in life, whether it's the decision to have an amputation, just not knowing, or just the decision to, you had an amputation, but to just continue to try to live life and get back up. Would you have any advice for anybody just going forward in life? And I know it's general, but you know.
Two-parter.
Go ahead.
One, don't be afraid to reach out. It's the biggest mistake you ever make. If you just assume you know everything, or you assume that WebMD or some Google or some TikTok is going to tell you all your solutions. It's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not going to hear what you want to hear. Sorry, but you need to talk to someone. You know, they, like I said, it's each their own. You might not relate to them at all. You know, at first, whenever I was going through my stuff, I was like, man, this dude's at Planet Fitness working out, and I'm over here, you know, excuse the language, but I call myself crippled at that time because I had all my limbs and just sitting there in bed, and I was like, he doesn't know anything I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
One, horrible mindset. I was in a horrible place, horrible mindset. Then I actually talked to him. We learned each other. I learned what he was doing, what he's been through, not just physically, but mentally. And I was like, okay, now I'm understanding. I talked to other people. I was like, now I really understand that his problem wasn't my problem, but him telling me his story kind of helped me flow. Okay, I'm gonna have highs and lows, and I'm gonna have a really low point before it gets all better. I understand that, and you know, talk to people, reach out, and don't reach out to some random person. You know, oh hey, I'm gonna call my twin brother. I'm not feeling good. Of course, connection's everything. Connect to everyone, but sometimes it takes a random dude on Facebook that you ran into or just saw someone say, hey man, this guy's got no legs and he rides a bike. Okay, screw it. Send him a DM. I 10 times out of 10 he's going to help you out with something, or she, or whoever it may be. And then I'll let you take over on that one. I'll get the second part.
For me, it's just, I mean, for new amputees it's harder, but if you've had your amputation for a long time and you have a prosthetic and you're still walking with a crutch or like a walker, get rid of it. I mean, I know it's scary, but the best bet for me, this is how I learned, is my dad just threw me really into the deep end. Like day one, everybody's different, like you're saying. I'm young, so I could afford to fall, but day one, I was out throwing a football in the backyard with my legs. And then day two, I ditched the walker, and then day three, and then for that week, I just kept on walking without the walker until you get confident enough to just live your normal life. So for me, it's just ditch the walker, ditch the crutch, rely on yourself and not rely on that stuff. So yeah,
That's kind of my part too, is get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know,
I would say
if you
that.
can do this but you're not comfortable with it, continue to do it. You'll get comfortable. You know,
Yeah.
I agree with you 10,000%.
And then for me, it's just, you know, look at yourself in the mirror every day. Just make sure you're okay with who you are. You got to be in a position where you accept where you are, as far as like if it's amputation, if it's about to be an amputation, if you're in that situation where you need to do better, want to do better, you got to take a deep look at yourself first, analyze you, and then just start. And like Brock was saying, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to come to support groups. Don't be afraid to look at support groups. That doesn't mean like all the information is going to relate to you. Like everybody's been saying up here, it's to each his own. But you never know what somebody may say, what somebody may do, who you may see or who you may run into that gives a long-lasting, forever change on your life that gets you to doing more things and being more open and open more doors for you. So you guys remember that. You're beautiful. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. I will get the next date for the next amputee support group. I will post it with my post. But shout out to Brock for coming. Appreciate you. Shout out to Talent for coming. If y'all are on social media, you want to tell them how to follow you guys. If you're on social media, if you want them to have it, you know, it's up to you.
I mean, I just have Instagram. It's Talent Tallaway. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
You can follow him.
And then,
Mine's the Brock Heath on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
okay. And then 5 Toes Down here, y'all already know, so y'all check it out. So shout out to Hanger Clinic also, shout out to Reform Prosthetics, and shout out to Advanced Prosthetics too. There's three clinics here in Savannah, so you know we all in this thing together. If you're an amputee, it doesn't matter where you go, we all show love regardless, because nobody's getting their legs to grow back. Like my man over here said, y'all ain't gonna see him.
That's why he's got it covered up.
Yeah, but thank y'all, appreciate y'all. Damn. And that's all right, y'all. Until I hit the end button.
Yeah, I didn't want to mess it up.
Oh no, you good. You good. Now I gotta call my mama and told her how many times you hung up on her.
Boyfriend and dog.
Yeah.
You got all that.
Boyfriend and
Yeah.
dog call too.
Yeah,
So
but-
when's dinner?
No, stand right in the corner so I can take a picture of you and be like, Mama, this who hung up on you right here?
No, I'm not. I'm not being a part of that.
Ah.
Can't friend me.
Let's see how we end this live.
We gotta get your dinner heated up, my friend. I'm
Okay.
about to call someone.
Okay,
to see
so
if
yeah,
they can
yeah,
find
so
some
everybody's
place
sort of the
cover
same
dishes
with
or
that
something,
stuff.
'cause I don't know how to do that.
Well, I was.
Okay.
No, not my water, okay?
Thank you.
So hang tight, I'm gonna go see what I can do about the dishes, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I got a microwave
Good
down here, but I ain't
camera.
got dishes, so I'll be back.
Appreciate everybody that jumped on live. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate it. I will definitely get the dates for the next amputee support group meeting. And if any of y'all out there trying to be in a support group, you're in Savannah, Georgia, y'all know I'm president of the support group here. We're changing things around a little bit. We're doing it more of interview style type thing. And if people in the audience want to be on camera, we'll have them come up. So we're just trying something new for everybody that's not able to make it. So if you guys see the setup change and some of you guys have been here, it may be a little different. Just depends on who's presenting that day. If we have to do the round table, we'll do the round table, but it's probably going to look like it did here, just to make people more comfortable, give people more of a personal experience. And then a lot of times people don't like to know they're online. So the more you get to just talking to them like we talking like just like right now, you know, it helps them to open up. So I thank all y'all for jumping on. I appreciate y'all so much. I'm gonna be in touch with y'all. I love y'all. You're beautiful. You've been him. You've been her. I'm out.